Welcome to FBB Forum. If you like this content, please be sure to follow me on Instagram and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm very excited to welcome the stunning IFBB Women's Pro Physique competitor, Tricia Downing, to the podcast. Tricia most recently competed at the Chicago Pro, and I also had the great opportunity to see her compete live at the Triple O Dynasty in Phoenix this past April for her pro debut. Trisha lives in the Phoenix area and earned her pro card at the Masters Nationals in 2022. And she's also a powerlifter as well. Stay tuned to find out where she's going to compete next. Welcome, Trisha. It's great to have you here.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited for this.
Thank you. Thanks for your patience, too. I know we had talked about back in April, maybe do an interview, but I kind of lost track of everything. So I'm glad, we could speak here.
Sure, life happens. I get it.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it does. It definitely does. Oh, man. So I was curious in terms of getting started in bodybuilding, did you have an athletic or a sports background before you started?
Not really. So back in when I was younger, I did gymnastics. I did competitive gymnastics as a young child, 10, 11 years old.
Okay.
And then I proceeded into when I started high school. Well, actually, let me back up. So I did gymnastics and then I got into barrel racing. So I kind of dabbled into a lot of things just to kind of figure out where I wanted to go or what I wanted to do. And as a young child, I still didn't know what I wanted to do. Then I started high school and I thought I need a letter in something. We didn't have gymnastics, so I got into dive. That was the closest thing. I was terrible at it, but I got my varsity letter, so I was good to go. Always wanted to weightlift, but that wasn't a thing when I was in school for women to weightlift or do any of the boys sports like wrestling or anything like that. So
Sure.
Kind of didn't really get into fitness until literally 20 years ago. So
That's very cool. Yeah, did that's kind of interesting about diving. That's did you do too big of a splash at the end there?
yeah, my mom, she was like, "You're terrible." So I was like, "Thanks, Mom." But it is what it is. So
Diving,
here I am now.
oh, no, I think that's great. And diving is a tough sport for sure. Yeah. Now in terms of getting started in bodybuilding, did anybody convince you to do your first contest or to get prepared for it?
Kind of. So I always, purchased the Oxygen magazine and the Muscle Fitness hers, and I idolized all those, Monica Brandt. So, some of those are my idols, like Monica Brandt and Corey Everson, and just I actually saved all my magazines. I still have them from years and years ago. Just always wanted to do a show, just never knew how to go about doing it, or who to mentor or where to start. And then one day I was, I trained myself at the YMCA and I thought I was doing what I was supposed to be doing as far as like lifting the proper weights and stuff. And I decided this boot camp came about and I was like, oh, it's in the neighborhood. I'll just go join this boot camp and check it out. After going a couple of times talking to the instructor, she was getting ready to do a show. And I'm like, oh, where are you going? Like, what are you doing? Who are you seeing? I need some guidance, and she's like, oh, just come over here to my trainer, check it out, So I had went and worked out with her one day and met her trainer, which is my trainer to this day. Met with him, told him I wanted to do bikini. He says, you're not cut for bikini. We need to probably do figure. This was in August of 2013, 14.
Okay.
We did my first show November that year. So
Wow.
I've been with him. So that's how I got into it.
That's so cool.
I was only going to do one show. It was on my bucket list to do one show, and that was it. But I got addicted, and here I am.
Oh, that's very cool. I think that happens to a lot of ladies. They kind of get addicted to it, and yeah.
Yeah.
You said you're working with the same coach from back then?
Yeah. So it's Tim Sparks with Die Hard Gym in Peoria.
Oh, that's awesome.
He's my powerlifting coach and my bodybuilding coach.
Really? Oh, wow. That's very cool. That's awesome. And that's great that you've been working with him for so long too. Now how did you get started in powerlifting too? That you said that came after bodybuilding?
Yeah, so he's a powerlifting coach as well. And he was the state chairman for one of our federations. So he suggested that I just start coming to deadlift on Saturday practice and getting with the team. And he said, if you come and practice, you have to compete. So that's one of the stipulations. You can't come and deadlift on Saturday unless you're going to compete. So knowing that, I started prepping for my first powerlifting meet. Little Trisha just, squatting 200 pounds. And I thought that was like awesome. But years later, here I am, and now I'm a referee for the powerlifting as well. So I put back into the sport what I get out of it too. So
Wow, that's terrific. Wow. Have you done any powerlifting meets this year?
yeah, so I did nationals. That was in Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge. I just did that in June. So leaving there, I actually was starting my prep dieting for the Chicago Pro
Oh,
bodybuilding. So I left Baton Rouge and got right on the diet, the prepping for Chicago Pro. But I won my class. I placed second, and then I won my invitational to Worlds, which is in November in Chicago for
really?
powerlifting. So
Wow.
I'm for that now. So switching gears, we're powerlifting now.
Wow, that's so cool. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Wow. We
I'm
talked a
hoping to
little,
maybe set some world records. I'll be in a different age group, so I'll be turning 50 in August. So I'll be changing age groups for both bodybuilding and powerlifting.
really?
Come on.
Wow, that's really amazing. Yeah. In terms of bodybuilding or powerlifting helping your bodybuilding career, has it helped you put on size and muscle density and that sort of thing?
Definitely has, yeah. Definitely put on size for sure.
That's
So
terrific. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you look really good on stage for sure.
Thank you.
You have great abs. I was wondering if does the powerlifting help with your abs, do you think?
I mean, yeah, I mean, we're lifting heavy weights, so you always got to brace your core. So yeah, that helps.
Not bad. Yeah. Um, I was curious, do you have a fitness role model that you look up to?
I have quite a few, like I said, mentioned, back when I started this, it was Corey Everson and Monica Brandt and Sharon Bruneau. And now, Nicole Wilkins, she was a big idol of mine, Dana Lynn Bailey, and now Sarah Villegas.
Hmm.
I look up to her a lot too. So
Oh
those are
yeah.
my,
I like those
so
old
maybe
school
someday I
ladies.
can be on stage with her too. So we'll see.
Oh, I know. That would be terrific. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Yeah. Um, no, I like the old school ladies like you mentioned, because I'm same age as you, pretty much 50, and just been
Uh,
following bodybuilding for years and years. And yeah, Corey Everson and Sharon Bruneau, or yeah, some of the best. They're just amazing.
yeah. They just set the bar, and it's just, I kind of think we need to go back to how that used to be. It just seems like these women we're getting bigger and bigger, and it's getting harder to meet that bar. It's just like, when do we stop?
And
Where's the plateau at? But
I
I
I
like
understand. I always feel like there's a little bit of a reset every few years with bodybuilding, and kind
for
of,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
The natural progression and reset, just the way yeah, which I understand that why it works that way. So
Yeah.
I was curious, when was it tough for you to get up on stage in a bikini for the first time? Was it kind of nerve-wracking for you, or
Um, yes and no. I think the whole prep getting up to the stage was nerve-wracking, but then once I got on stage, I was okay. However, I started out in figure, so being those heels, that's a challenge in itself. So
yeah,
practicing walking in those 6-inch heels was you just want to make sure you don't fall or trip and fall. So that was the biggest thing. It wasn't mainly in the bikini, it was walking in those shoes because I don't ever wear heels. So
oh sure.
so I did figure for a couple of years until I got a little bit bigger, and then we decided that women's physique would be the direction that I needed to go. So I was more than happy to get rid of those heels.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, I bet it's tough to, like, yeah, kind of flex your legs when you're in the heels like that too, which
Yeah,
seems, yeah.
yeah,
And the women's physique kind of gives you some creativity too with the posing routine and that sort of thing.
yeah. So I hung up the heels and picked up the routine. So I like that much better. Although I don't really have dance moves, so I have hired help to come up with my routine. So it just takes watching and practicing those. So
Sure. Oh yeah, I thought your posing was really good at Triple O. You look great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, I know you placed or you competed at two shows this year, like I mentioned earlier, the Triple O in April and then Chicago Pro. And how did you place at those shows? Did you do well?
Yeah, so the Triple O, I placed fourth, which I'm ecstatic about being my pro debut, placing that well. And then placing second in Masters 40 and over at the Chicago Pro,
Terrific.
which I'm thrilled with as well. So placed 12th in the Open out of 21 women. Couldn't be more happier with that too. So not in the top 10, but that's okay. We have other shows that we're planning. So
That's terrific. Yeah, no, you look great at both of those shows, I think. And that's, for your pro debut year, I think that's really good.
yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. So well, I'm excited to see where this takes me, uh, as far as like the next shows that I'm going to do. So
Very cool. That's awesome. Did you enjoy the shows too? And what was that kind of feeling like backstage with the athletes and the kind of the worker bees who are helping behind the scenes?
both shows, being in the pro division now, and even NPC, just the way that they run the shows backstage, it's just very well organized, and it's all geared towards the athletes, which I love. It's they're there for us, for the athletes, and whatever we need, they provide for us. The Triple O, I couldn't have run more smoothly. It was fantastic, and same thing with Chicago Pro. So both good experiences for me. So hopefully going forward, continue to be good experiences, and
That's
I'm sure
terrific.
they are. Heard anything bad about any of the shows. So
Was there, in terms of backstage, was there anything that kind of surprised you a little bit being at your first pro shows?
no,
No? Mm-mm. I was just
no,
curious. Yeah.
just very well organized. We stick to a schedule, and I like that we're not changing the schedule. They had the schedule on paper. We knew what to expect. That's how it ran. So that's the best. When you're dieting and you're depleted, you just want to get up there, get done, and move on. Get something to eat and drink, obviously. So
Yeah.
it's great. They're so organized and just kept it moving along.
I agree with you on that. And from a fan perspective too, I hate it when they change the schedule last minute and then,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's just aggravating, but it's
Right,
gotta be,
because you want your carbs in at a certain time and you want to peak, and then if they go and change it, it kind of messes everything up. So
yeah,
it's
no, I
so
know that's
that's
not
what I
good.
mean, that if they're thinking of the athlete, in terms of the schedule, they're thinking of us and our bodies and what we need to do.
No, I think that's really important. I think that, yeah, y'all need to be considered for that for sure. Now, in terms, you said you're going to compete at powerlifting, or no, the powerlifting nationals, or no, worlds, you said.
Worlds, yeah. So that's in Chicago, November 14th through the 17th. It's in
Okay.
Naperville,
Okay.
and it's World. So, yeah, so I qualified for World, so hopefully I can set some world records, titles. We'll see.
That's all.
Excited. So I have some PRs that I'm wanting to hit, some numbers that I want to hit going forward. So we'll see what I can do.
That's awesome. And then do you hope to compete in bodybuilding again this year? Or you're going to wait till next year?
So I'm done with bodybuilding this year, only because of the training cycle. It's too hard to deplete and put on, go back and forth. So
Yeah.
I try to do most of my powerlifting in the beginning of the year and then do my bodybuilding towards the end of the year.
Mhm.
However, last year I took off bodybuilding and I strictly did powerlifting only to see what I could do, because I've been up and down with dieting and the programming that I kind of wanted to really see. Not that I earned my pro card, I wanted to see what I could do in actual powerlifting. So I succeeded. I got what I wanted, and I put on some size. So therefore that's why we planned my pro debut here in town, so that my family could come and see and stuff. So that's why I did the Triple O, and then Chicago. I have family in Chicago too, so that's another reason why I picked the Chicago Pro. The next bodybuilding show that I'm gonna do is Triple O again in April, and then I
Great.
think I'm just gonna strictly do powerlifting next year again to put on more size for the following year in 2026.
Oh, that's terrific. That's great. Yeah, Triple O being so local for you, that must make it a
Yeah, it's in
lot
the
easier too.
backyard. So
And it was a good show that the
it
promoters did a
was.
really good job, especially for being the very first time they've done it. So
Yeah,
I think it's going to attract even more people next year too. So I think it'll be great.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's very cool. I bet that was exciting to do your pro
Yeah,
debut in your backyard and have, your cheering section there and everything.
yeah, absolutely. It was exciting. So it was great
That's,
to have my family there. So
that's very cool. That's awesome. Um, yeah, I've talked a few times to Susan Graham, who won the Omaha Pro this year, but she did that too, where she did powerlifting, and it just transformed her physique, and it made her much more competitive too, I think. So, and I've noticed that from some of the other ladies that have tried powerlifting and bodybuilding, and it just really improves your physique so much, I think.
yeah,
Mhm.
I agree. I mean, I haven't seen as so much improvement since I've started powerlifting. So that's why we decided to just continue with it. And then I, like I said, I alternate years. So one year I'll take off and then just to put on the size. Because the dieting down and bulking up, and it really takes a toll on your body. So,
Oh, I bet. Oh, I bet it is tough. Yeah,
and now that I'm getting older,
yeah. Oh, yeah. You're gonna be hitting 50 here next month. You said in August, huh? Yeah, I understand. But I think bodybuilding's kind of fountain of youth too, I think. So
I think so too. I haven't looked this great or felt this great um, ever. So I think I'm in my best condition, my best physique right now. So
that's awesome. Yeah, you do. You look really good for sure. Yeah.
thank you.
Um, Now I mentioned that you earned your pro card at the Masters Nationals in 2022. I bet that was an exciting experience for you. What was that like?
That was exciting. So not only did I get one pro card, I got three pro cards. So I got a pro card in each class that I did.
Oh, wow.
Um, yeah, so I went in with the attitude of I've got to get it this time. This has got to be the time. I had this feeling. So I just was more confident and just went out there, had the green suit and just felt good about it. So yeah, that was exciting.
That's very cool. Yeah, I bet. I bet that was really exciting to and having, put in the years to and you know, working toward that pro card. So must have been, yeah, feeling accomplishment to get that. Now, I was
Yeah.
curious, this year, have the judges given you any feedback on where you need to improve your physique or presentation?
Yeah, so at the Triple O, Sandy gave me some feedback. She told me that, I need a bigger back, which is kind of ironic how I got off stage and my coach and I were talking. He's like, I think we need to work on your back. We need to do some more pull-ups. We just need to, oh, my phone's getting ready to die. Are you there?
Oh, yeah, I'm
Okay.
here.
Um, so we were just talking about how my back needs to be bigger. And then Sandy came down backstage and was like, Trisha, you did phenomenal. She's like, I just want to let you know that, you just need to work on your back and get it bigger. And I was like, oh my God, we were just talking about that. So um, it was awesome that we were all on the same page as to what I needed to do. So
Oh,
I
that's
went back to the lab and started working on my back. And, I'm not sure that I grew too much over 6 weeks, but, at least we know what I need to work on now. So
that's great. That's good to get that kind of feedback and that kind of yeah, especially from Sandy, because
yeah,
she's been doing judging for a long time now.
she's a phenomenal woman. Yeah.
That's terrific. Yeah. Um, and yet the powerlifting will help with your back too, I bet. So yeah.
Oh yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
that's great though. That's very good. I was curious, if there's any advice that you could provide to ladies who are looking to earn their pro card, because I know it takes a lot of hard work and dedication, but just any advice that for ladies that are listening in.
Just keep plugging away. It'll happen. Just keep working hard and just keep bettering and keep, just go forward. That's all.
Hmm,
Um, don't look back. Just keep going forward. It'll happen.
that's good advice.
Patience. Yeah.
And it worked for you too. So yeah.
Yeah. My eighth show, I finally got it. So I was like, is this ever going to happen? But it did. So I just, like I said, I went in with confidence that time. I'm like, I'm going to get it this time, come hell or high water. So, and I did. So,
I think confidence makes a big difference too. I think, and I've noticed that with some of the competitors that the more confident ones tend to win more often, I think, so yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and enjoy the sport. I mean, you're doing this because you want to do good at it. So enjoy it, have fun with it, and that shows on stage. If you're nervous and scared and think you're not that good, that emanates. That you can put that vibe off. So just be confident and love what you're doing, and know that you did your best and you did everything you're supposed to do, and that's all you can do.
Hmm.
So
I
it's up to
agree.
the judge.
Yeah, that's true. It is. Yeah, it's ultimately up to the judges too. Yeah, you're right. It's a subjective sport too.
Yeah.
Um, Now, I can't remember if we mentioned this already, but how long have you competed in powerlifting, and do you prefer bodybuilding or powerlifting, or you just kind of like them both?
I like them both. So, like I said, I've been bodybuilding since 2014, and then I've been powerlifting since 2016. So I started powerlifting after I started bodybuilding,
Yeah.
and that's strictly to get that extra workout in and put on more size. I like them both. I like the challenge of both of them. I like going back and forth. It's even more challenging for me because I work night shifts. So I have to flip my schedule around, my eating schedule. Eating fish at 3 o'clock in the morning isn't everyone's cup of tea, but I do it. So, and I do it because of the challenge, and it's hard. Not everyone can do it. And I think that's why I do it, because a lot of people can't do it. So,
Uh,
um, but
that's
yeah, I
awesome.
like both of them. I like the bodybuilding part of it because I like the aesthetic, the pleasing, the bikini, the way you look. I actually like the prepping. And then I like the powerlifting, knowing the numbers that I can hit, what I can squat, deadlift, all that. So, and hitting my PR. So there's definitely, they go together.
I had I think again with Susan Graham mentioned like she liked the team atmosphere of powerlifting too, and do you find that too?
For sure. Yeah, we have a huge team at Die Hard, and I love assisting my coach too. I'll help my teammates. If they're not quite understanding what they're supposed to do, I might kind of like throw in like my little cues of like, this might help you. This helps me. Maybe. But I like to help coach. Not coach, but like kind of help guide and stuff. But like I said, I referee too, so I'm a referee. If I'm not lifting, I'm always refereeing at our meets that my coach puts on. We put on our own meets in Arizona.
Okay.
So he's one of the chairmen for the state of Arizona, and then he has about 6 referees in our gym that help out. So
Oh,
um,
cool.
definitely like to put back into the sport if I can.
That's great. That's very good. Yeah, I like that too. Very cool. That's awesome that you do that, that you do both, I think. Um, Now, mention your coach's name again.
Tim Sparks,
Tim Sparks.
Timothy Sparks, Tim Sparks with Die Hard.
Okay, very cool. And do you have a opposing coach too that you're working with?
So I've worked with just people online, the posing sensei and posing queens. They've helped me with my routines. But Tim Sparks basically does my dieting, my training, and I pose with him as well. So I've
Mm,
just taken, I've watched Instagram and watched videos and just taken tidbits and then kind of put my own flair and my own, with him, basically. So
that's
just
great.
kind of see what fits for me, because everyone's different. Everyone
Yeah,
has their own technique or style.
yeah, totally. I understand that. Yeah. And you said you've been with or working with him for 12 years now?
14 years.
14 years. Wow.
14,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't think I've talked to anybody on the podcast here that's had a coach for that long. So it's good that you have
Really?
that longevity.
Yeah, I'm all about loyalty. So yeah, you build that relationship, and we just kind of know each other, and he knows my body type, and I don't want to go to somebody else and have them have to learn me, and my mood swings and a lot of other stuff too. So
Sure.
um, I mean, we work well together. So, and I like his style. I like the way he coaches and trains. So you know,
That's awesome. I think that's terrific. Yeah, no, and no, I think that's good too to have that consistency and um the people who do switch coaches every year kind of thing. I think that's kind of tough on the tough on the body, tough on your mind, and
yeah.
just yeah, it's good to have consistency and longevity.
I mean, consistent. I train at the same time every day, or on my certain days that I train. I've for the past 14 years, I've done the same time, same days. Like I am so structured that I
Hmm.
can't veer off my schedule. Otherwise, because I work, I have my business, Live Fit, and then I work 911 dispatch at night, and then I have to get my training in. So I am very structured. So
Hmm.
I don't want to mess anything up that if I don't have to.
Sure, I totally understand that. No, that's really good though. Um, I was curious, what would you say is the most challenging aspect of competition prep for you?
The most challenging would be my sleep. I try to get as much sleep as I can. I'll sleep on my lunch hour, get a quick nap. But I think the most challenging is eating. So, and I have to eat every so often, every few hours. I need to make sure that my food is prepped ahead of time so that I can just grab and go. I pick Sundays to, I make all my meals. And then I have to flip flop. So my days that I have off, I do my business. So when I'm awake, I'm actually sleeping. So I kind of have to like trick my body because I'm supposed to be sleeping, but I'm awake. So that's what's challenging is the sleep and the eating. But I managed to get through it. So
Wow, that's yeah. I've with doing the night shift, is that a permanent thing, or do you ever get to work day shift doing the as a dispatcher?
we have a vacation bid and we can pick a different shift if we want to. However, the night shift works with my Live Fit business and my
Hmm.
training. So I've done it for 7 years. I've been doing Live Fit for 6 years. I don't want to mess it up. It's working. It works for me. So
Oh,
why go change?
sure, I understand. That's tough to work a night shift. Boy, it's
It is, but it's got its perks. I don't have to deal with traffic and um, I have days off that people are, working, so I can get stuff done where people are, at work, if I have to get doctor's appointments or whatever. So it works.
that's
I
cool.
didn't think it was going to, but I'm 7 years into it. I don't know that I could change it now. So
Yeah, I
I'm used to
understand. Is it kind of stressful though, or it seems like it could be a stressful job?
it. It can get stressful at times, but
Yeah, yeah, I bet.
every
Yeah,
day is a different day. Every call is a different call. So
that's
just
cool
never
though,
know what
in terms of helping people though.
yeah. So I mean, and that's my why. I just love to help people, whether it's a 911 or training, my clients. It's all about helping them and making things better for them.
That's terrific. Yeah, and Live Fit is on your shirt right now, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Very cool. Oh, that's awesome. Um, no, I think that's terrific that you're doing that and balancing both that way. Um, um, Now, in terms of, I was curious if you could give it any advice to ladies who are looking for a good coach, like what they should be looking for, or what warning signs maybe for a bad coach.
So if you're looking to do bodybuilding or even powerlifting, clearly you want to, check your coach's credentials. You want to see if they have any clients that made it pro,
Mhm.
um, or how many shows they've done. And interview them, ask them what their diet's like, and maybe don't go with the first person that you see, maybe check out a couple of them and compare notes and
Okay,
see which one you feel comfortable. If you go into a gym and you don't feel comfortable, then that's not the gym for you. It's just like a job. If you feel like at home and this is the job for you, then that's probably the job for you. Same thing with a coach. If you connect and you have that relationship and you have no problem talking and communicating, then that's probably the coach for you.
that's good. Yeah, that's really good advice too. Um, Now, in terms of your own training business with LiveFit, how long have you had that company? And do you train lifestyle and bodybuilding clients, or do you focus on one or the other?
So I've been in business for 6 years. I do it out of my garage. I mainly just train women, and it's basically to build confidence.
Mm,
Because women will go into the gym and they'll just do cardio. They're afraid to pick up weights. So my main goal is to teach different angles, how to use the dumbbells, how to use the cable machines, to feel comfortable, so that you can go into the gym and work out on your own if you wanted to.
mm,
Um, I train mainly for fitness and everyday life. you know, picking up a case of water is deadlifting, you know, everything that we do, I kind of relate back to what we do every day, you know.
Okay.
We want to make sure that we're strong enough so that we're not falling down and breaking hips and that kind of thing. You know, we want to prepare ourselves as we get older.
Okay.
I try to educate and explain, you know, while we're working out, you know, what muscles we're working, why we're working them, why it's important, you know, and same thing with nutrition and diet too. And discuss all that. I'm constantly doing continuing education courses to stay up on my knowledge so that, you know, what I'm teaching and preaching is facts. I have a gal that I'm training for bodybuilding right now, a show. She's going to compete in October.
Okay.
I'm trying to get this other gal to do powerlifting. So it just depends, you know, I'll pick and choose and, you know, be like, hey, you know, I think you'd be good for bodybuilding, or I think you'd be good for powerlifting. And most of my, you know, girls are just, you know, just trying to stay fit for just everyday life.
Sure. Do you only work in your garage, or do you ever work with them like a virtual person in another state type thing? Or
No, just in my garage.
yeah.
I'm not really good at camera, so.
Oh yeah, no, that's cool. That's really cool though. I think that's great, and that you're helping the ladies like that. And before we got on the call too, you mentioned that you're married, and I was wondering if your husband is a bodybuilder too.
No, he's not. So I've been married to him for 25 and a half years. He is more into hunting. He drag races, archery, that kind of thing. So we're on totally two different ends of the spectrum. However, he supports me and I support him. So when my kids were little and babies, he was off racing and I was at home raising the kids. And now it's my turn. I'm off traveling and bodybuilding, and he's, you know, home doing his stuff here. So
That's great.
yeah, it worked out. We complement each other very well.
You said he's doing an archery competition this weekend, do you think? Or that?
Yeah, it's for fun though. I think they win like some money or maybe a belt buckle kind of thing, but yeah.
Oh, very cool.
It's fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really neat.
You get some exercise in there. We'll get some hiking in, and you know, we're gonna take the dog and do some hiking and stuff. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, you said you're getting out of Phoenix too. You're heading north, so at least be a little cooler up there. So yeah.
Yeah.
That's so hot. I can't believe how hot it was there. Now, you mentioned you have kids too, and I was wondering if they're supportive of your bodybuilding career too.
Oh, they are. They're definitely. My son wrote a message on the mirror, you know, you're a badass mom, keep going. So yeah, they support me 100%. And I do this for them to show them, you know, it doesn't matter how old you are. If it's something you want to do, just keep after it, you know. So
that's terrific.
Oldest is 24. Well, will be 24, sorry. And then my youngest just turned 21. So, and they're both boys.
Have they considered doing bodybuilding themselves, do you think? Or
no, my oldest was a baseball player. He was a pitcher in college, and my youngest was really big into gymnastics. And then when he started high school, he was in varsity dive like me. He did wrestling, and he also did tennis and was in student council. So, but now they both work for the city of Peoria and the water department. So.
Oh yeah. Oh, very cool. That's
on
awesome.
On their way to move out. So.
Oh yeah, I understand. No, that's pretty cool though. Now, I know that you, with the Peoria connection, is that where you guys used to live, and then you moved to Arizona?
No, they just happened to apply for the city of Peoria and got hired onto the city of Peoria. We live in Glendale.
Oh yeah. Oh, Peoria,
I work
Arizona.
Huh?
You're talking about Peoria, Arizona, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking Illinois. I'm sorry.
No. My boys live with me here. We have a Peoria, Arizona as well. And that's actually where my gym is located, in Peoria as well. And then we live in Glendale, but I work for the city of Phoenix.
Oh, I see. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant Peoria, Illinois, so I didn't realize. That makes sense though. Okay, that's cool. Yeah. Very cool. And I was curious, do you find that Arizona is good area for bodybuilders and powerlifters? Because it, you know, of course, you got Wings of Strength base there. So, you know, it seems like you have a lot of big shows there, of course, too.
Yeah, we do. We actually do have a lot of shows, and they're picking up more and more. when Miles used to do the NPC, there was a lot of shows, and then we kind of got a lull, and then other promoters started picking up, and now we're starting to see a little bit more shows again. Yeah, it's great that they're here, and I think Arizona is a good place for bodybuilders. We have a lot of gyms spread out throughout the whole state. So
Yeah, that's true. It is. It in Phoenix area just seems to be really strong for bodybuilders. A lot of pros are based there, and yeah, it is. It's a good place for sure. Are you gonna try to go to Rising Phoenix, do you think?
Not this year. It's really hard for me to get time off of work and stuff, so I have to
Sure.
put my vacation in a year in advance. So it's really actually hard for me to even plan what shows I'm going to do, because a lot of times the shows aren't posted. Like this October, I have to put my vacation in for next year. And if I
Mm,
don't know what shows are, I kind of have to kind of guess. Okay, so the show is this time this year. It's probably hopefully going to be that same time next year. I kind of
mm.
have to do it like in game. So it's
Yeah.
really hard for me to plan ahead.
At least I think Triple O's already announced their dates for next year. So
Yeah,
that's
they did. So that's why I'm gonna do that one, because I know for sure that that's when it's gonna be. So I know I can take that time off.
oh yeah. I want to go to Rising Phoenix one of these days because I think that'd be an awesome show. It's just such a big show.
Yeah, I
Like,
would like to. Maybe I can plan for it. I don't know about next year, but maybe the following year.
yeah. I was just thinking, even if you don't compete, you could, yeah, as a spectator or something, just check
Oh,
it out.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's just push it down. Yeah.
I was curious, do you ever find yourself like the target of like fit shaming? Because I'm surprised that you guys even have to go through that, because y'all should be kind of praised for your hard work and sacrifice, but there's just some,
Um,
nasty trolls out there, but I'm just curious.
there's always gonna be somebody that has something to say, or that I look like a guy or whatever. But for the most part, everyone is just in awe of actually for my age and how I look and stuff. But it takes 14 years. It's taken me 14 years to get here. So it's just, you got to stay consistent and dedicated. And, there's the naysayers, and I just ignore them or whatever. There's always going
Yeah.
to be, it's a jealousy thing. So, and that's fine. Can't
Yeah.
control
I think there's a lot of jealousy with the trolls for sure. And yeah, you're right. And like, Sherry Priami just won Chicago Pro for women's bodybuilding, and she's almost 50 now too. So yeah, it is. I just think that bodybuilding is a great fountain of youth for sure, I think.
Yeah. I mean, we feel great. I mean, we can do, and I like it. I just think it's the best sport out there for women. Especially at our age. So I don't know that there's anything else. I mean, it's hard to play softball, and you gotta do running, and I don't know. It's just, I feel like bodybuilding is the sport for women, especially as you get older.
Oh, I agree. I think it is definitely. I'm glad that you're doing it too, because you do it great. Um,
Thanks.
I was curious if you ever find it hard to deal with the demands of social media, and I don't know if that's an issue for you since you're relatively new pro too, so people are still discovering you.
Yeah, I haven't had any issues. No one's breathing down my neck or anything to do anything. Yeah, I try to keep my social media family based too. I don't want it to um, get out of control. So,
Sure.
but I'm always opt for interviews or photo shoots or whatever. So
Very cool. That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, like some of the photographers like HD Physiques and Andy Revecchio and stuff like that. They do some really good shoots, I think. So have you
yeah,
worked with any of those folks or
I haven't yet. No,
no?
not yet.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. I hope they will soon because you look really awesome. So um now I was curious if you had a take on like how can we get more fans to like actually show up to these bodybuilding shows, because I think we need to get more fans to show up and buy tickets and buy the live stream,
Yeah,
but there's something about
I
being
think.
there in person too, I think. And I don't, I want to tell the fans out there to you really should go buy a ticket and to see these ladies and their dedication and all their hard
Right.
work and everything.
I think they need to do a little bit more promoting, as far as Miles Newsel for NPC used to post posters like at the vitamin shops and at some of the stores. So you have like a hard copy of a poster of seeing what's going on. Not many people know to go on Instagram and search for bodybuilding, and if if you're not into it, you know what I mean? But if you see a
Mhm.
poster in a store, you might be like, oh, I'd like to go check that out. But if it's not on your mind, you're not going to go search for it on Instagram. You know what I mean? So
Sure.
I think they need to do a little bit more, maybe commercials on TV or something to grab that person that's not been exposed to it.
Yeah, I like that, like commercials on local TV.
Hmm.
Yeah, I would like to see that too. I would like to see
Or
more.
even if it's something on the radio, like just, come to the Wings of Strength Rising, whatever bodybuilding show, check it out. Here's the website, it might spark somebody's interest. But if you, like I said, if you don't know anything about it or haven't been exposed, you wouldn't know where to go or what to look like. Me, like when I started out with bodybuilding, I didn't know where to go or who to start or who to contact.
Hmm.
Just took that one person for me to talk to. I was like, oh wow, I found that person. So
I understand. Yeah, I was thinking, do you remember back in the day when ESPN and NBC, were actually showing the shows on TV? And I think
right,
it introduced a lot of people to the sport, but there's still not really any TV deals, unfortunately, right now with those cable, channels
exactly.
and such. But I'd love to see that happen again.
Yeah. I mean, even like the magazines, we don't have any print magazines anymore. So like Muscle Fitness, Hers, that's Oxygen. Those are all long gone. The
Mhm.
only magazine out there really is Strong, which I was featured um, in April. But I was exposed to bodybuilding and all that by getting the magazines, and that's what sparked my interest.
Yeah. That's true. That's something Glenn has been trying to do with Amazon's fitness magazine, which is dedicated to female bodybuilding. And but I'd love to see that like in the newsstands too. He's only doing it online or sending out issues by mail. But yeah, I would love to see that more. I agree with you. More magazines like that. There was even Women's Physique World back in the day, and that was dedicated to women's bodybuilding. And that was a good magazine too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, I just had a couple more questions for you. I just wondered if there's anything that I missed that you'd like to address and anyone you'd like to shout out.
No, just I really enjoyed having this interview with you, and I'm glad we finally got to meet and talk. I'll give a shout out to my suit sponsor, Jody Lynn Sturgeon, Suits by Jody, and of course my trainer, Tim Sparks with Die Hard. Um, I couldn't do it without either one of them, so I appreciate all their help.
That's terrific. That's very cool. Let me write down Suit by Jody. Um, because what I'll do is I'll mention Tim and Jody down below in the comment section, and if people want to check them out, and also Live Fit as well. Um, and are you able to take on new clients with Live Fit now,
Yeah,
or are
no,
okay, cool. But in the Phoenix area, right? You have to be in Phoenix.
yeah, in the
Yeah,
Phoenix area, for
yeah.
sure.
Um, I guess that was all I had question wise. And we're kind of running low on time anyway. But I was wondering if you would do a quick flex for me.
Absolutely. Hold on, let me pull up my sleeve.
All right. Wow, looking good, Trisha. Thank
Thanks.
you. No, I appreciate your time. And as I mentioned, I'll try to get this posted in the next few hours, probably this evening sometime, and I'll tag you and but thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you. And hope your trip with archery and camping goes well this weekend. No, be safe
Yeah,
out there.
I'm gonna enjoy the cool weather for sure. So
Oh, it's so hot right now in Phoenix. I know it's damn hot in Florida right now, but it's a different kind of hot, so but best wishes to you and best wishes at the powerlifting worlds too. I'm excited about that for you too.
thank you. Thank you. Well, I hope to see you soon. If you ever make it out here again, reach out, say
Oh
hi.
yeah. I want to go to Triple O again, so maybe next year I might come back again. I really enjoyed it last year. It was great. And
Okay,
they kind of gave me a little special access too. It was wonderful. I enjoyed it a lot. So thank
good.
you. It was good chatting with you. Thanks, Trisha.
You too. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks.